Welcome back to the final episode in Quantum Vimana's time travel series. If you haven't watched the previous episodes, please do so for better clarity on the topic. Your support is highly essential to our growth, so like, share and comment on our videos. In the meantime, do not forget to subscribe to our channel and ring the notification bell so that you won't miss any of our videos. Previously on Quantum Vimana, we discussed about temporal paradoxes in detail. By connecting the variance of different paradoxes with the improvised time travel calculation, we came to a conclusion that by changing certain events in the past, we may not achieve the expected result in the future. The universe may actually rearrange the events so that the ultimate fixed points in the timeline are not altered. This means we have to think of a new conjecture for time travel, and we do have one in store. Quantum Vimana presents. There's a story in history which mentions the assassination of Julius Caesar. We don't know how much of it is true, but the idea was what gave the spark. A day before Julius Caesar's assassination, his wife Calpurnia had a dream of the event. The next day, it is said that the exact same thing happened to the late king. The point is that she had an episode of the future but ignored it. In another part of the world, people have also mentioned to have seen the future events through meditation, famously known in the Hindu and Buddha religions. After a few centuries, scientists discovered that humans do not use their brains up to the full capacity. A common man uses just 3% of his brain in average. Even Einstein is believed to have used his brain up to 15%. These findings and data brought us a long way back in history. As mentioned earlier, the monks meditated to strengthen their brain, and scientists predict that they could have booted a higher percentage of their brains back in the past. This explains many unbelievable achievements in the ancient times, how people built fascinating structure within short times and unleashed deep theories of science. They can just be raw coincidences. Theoretically, Einstein's theory of relativity states that we have to travel faster than light to travel time. As we approach this speed, the time, assumed to be the fourth dimension, slows down gradually. Technically, when we are able to travel at such high speed, the time around us may freeze at one point, allowing us to move forward or backward in time. However, this is not as easy as it may seem. First of all, we need a huge amount of fuel to sustain the transportation, and light speed engines are still far to be achieved, if they ever could be. The reason we say so is because as an object accelerates with a significantly high rate, theoretically, the object has to have an infinite mass as well. This corresponds with the theory of relativity in an entirely complicated way which we will not discuss today. The point is, for objects traveling at this rate, the resistance will be extremely high and too much of energy has to be spent to overcome the resistive forces alone. In short, it's nearly impossible to invent light speed engines. Or we have to produce a wormhole that can bend the gravitational force. This idea does not seem applicable to, because we are not sure how we can produce one, and even if we did, we will be unable to control the gravitational force, and this is going to affect our nature in the cosmic level. Keeping the theories in mind, let's go back to the idea of brain usage earlier. Since we are not sure of the wonders that can be done if we used our brains to the full capacity, maybe it was true that people saw the future by meditating as they unlocked their time-traveling senses to move into the future? If so, how does it make sense? They didn't move at all. Or did they? To this point, things can be very confusing and complicated. Our idea speaks from a logical perception. Maybe we don't need a transport. We don't even need our body to time travel. Only matter has resistance, not energy. Like how Calpurnia and the meditating monks could have done, we may be able to project our consciousness across timeline. Yes, we are speaking of an astral body travel, which may be a very odd way of saying it. Typically, we can time travel by extracting our conscious energy from our body and pushing it to weave through the fourth dimension. If this ever becomes possible, time travel, fortunately, can be achieved. But how exactly can we separate our consciousness or energy? Nerve impulses in humans travel at a very high speed. Electricity, on the other hand, travels at 55 to 99% of light speed. If we managed to combine their speed without damaging the other brain cells, our thoughts can be produced faster than light. We mean, instead of accelerating a vehicle to the speed of light, doing the same thing to nerve impulse and motor neurons can be way easier, but just needs precision for safety. This idea may sound insane because electric treatment is very painful and is done in the asylums mostly. In our case, the brain is not going to face electricity directly. By inserting modified electrodes that channel the electric pulses directly to the required parts of the brain, the process will not be damaging a person's brain. We are not talking about electrocuting people, just electrifying our impulses with the right biological approach. This may seem to be a very advanced technology, but in reality, it's not. Neuralink's chip is in the process of monitoring and processing details from inside the brain safely. How long will it take before we develop this technology to identify specific parts in the brain to modify them according to our needs? We have already discussed about Neuralink's chip in our channel. If you haven't watched it, you can watch it by clicking the link in the description below. If this conjecture ever becomes true, the time travel that we are going to experience may deviate from our imagination. You see, when you time travel by projecting your consciousness, you will be limited by the range of time and space. Technically, you may just be able to witness the events that are happening around the place at a particular time. You may not be able to see everything that is happening around the world. Logically, since you're traveling, something like through your memories, you can only see the things throughout your own lifetime. This means that the time you were born and the time you die will be the furthest points you can travel to. On top of everything, in the form of energy, you most probably cannot change anything at all unless we come up with a way to give a solid form for your projected energy or consciousness. Then all you can do is rewatch memories or see what's going to happen in the future. As much as this satisfies paradox-free time travel, it still makes things a lot fairer for everyone as a whole. Every time we invented something remarkable, it was always when people started to think from a new perception. When angles change, the views change. So we get to see more possibilities to a given problem. This conjecture is a step to bring humanity one step closer to achieving time travel. The way we think has to be changed. Only then we will be open to more ideas that can possibly lift us to the next level of technology. Time travel is just the ultimate outcome, but in the process of achieving it, humanity will have many more technologies that would play vigilant roles in all other fields of science. Time is not fantasy. It's just a grey area yet to be explored. Till we find a way, time travel will always remain a scientific ambition.